Hi guys, I'm Charlie, a Charlie book fanatic. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to talk to you about my June TBR, or the books I'm going to be reading during the month of June. My challenge for this month is to pick at least 4 books in my favorite genre, and my favorite genre is contemporary, so I picked some books for this month. And the challenge I'm talking about is the All About You Part 1 challenge, by the way. I will link it down below as usual during my TBRs. The first book I want to talk about is The Art of Starving by Sam J. Miller. I go on e-arc of this book, and this book is coming out on July 11th of this year. So I am reading my e-arcs a month in advance, so I'm going to be reading this book during the month of June, and I'm very excited about it. And this book is about a gay teen boy who suffers from an eating disorder, which is a very marginalized group, I feel, because it's mostly girls that suffer from eating disorders, but obviously there are also boys who suffer from eating disorders, and there are also gay teen boys who suffer from eating disorders. So I think this is a very marginalized group, and it's a very niche group, and I don't want to say excited, but I am very interested to give this book a chance and tell you my thoughts about it. The second book I will be reading during the month of June is a book I recently ordered, and that is History is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. Adam Silvera has another book out which is More Happy Than Not, and I haven't read that book, but this premise sounds so fascinating to me that I decided that I would start with this one. This is about a guy called Griffin who has lost his ex-boyfriend. He was still very much in love with him, but his ex-boyfriend had a new relationship with him. It's all about Griffin connecting with his ex-boyfriend's new boyfriend and them trying to overcome their grief about their lost loved one. And I think this is going to be very exciting. I very much get a The Sky is Everywhere by Jenny Nelson vibe from it, and I love The Sky is Everywhere, so I am very excited to give a story with a premise like this one a go. Another book I want to give a try is Harmless Like You by Rowan, Hisayo, Buchanan. I talked about this book in one of my past month's new releases videos. This is historical fiction / contemporary because it's about a woman who's trying to make it as an artist back in, I believe, in 1920s, and then it's also present day because it also follows her son, who the girl from the 1920s has abandoned at only 2 years old, and it's following both of their perspectives, and I think that they're intertwining stories eventually. Then another book I have had on my TBR for such a long time and I finally want to get to, and that is Dreaming of Antigone by Robin Bridges. And this is about a girl who has lost her twin sister, and the twin sister has died due to a drug problem. Andrea, the living twin, is trying to overcome her sister's death and try and move on, keep her grades up, keep her friends, trying to keep her life on track. And then there's also a guy involved in this story. Andrea somehow blames him for her sister's death, but I feel a love story coming on between them, so I think there's a very interesting dynamic with a girl who blames his boy for his sister's death and that eventually evolving into a relationship, which again feels a lot like The Sky is Everywhere. Like, I think I have a pattern with the kind of books I like. A couple months ago, I read When We Collided by Emery, and I loved that one. Then I read another book by her, which I forgot the title of, Open Road Summer, I believe it's called, and I was not a fan of that. I really despised it. But now I want to give another book by Emery a chance, and there's the start of Me and You. I want to eventually read all of Emery Lord's books because after When We Collide, I think her writing has so much potential. The start of Me and You is about a girl who has lost her boyfriend due to a car accident, and it's been 2 years since she felt normal, and now she wants to convince everyone that she is normal, so she tries to date her old crush. She wants to join a club, but then everything basically gets fucked when her old crush's cousin comes to town, and he turns out to be really sweet and nerdy and super cute, and he invites her to join the quiz ball team. I don't know what that is, but it's probably something really nerdy. And if you look at the cover, it's a perfect type of contemporary, and it's super hot in the Netherlands right now, so it's a perfect read. And the last book I have picked is also a summer read and a contemporary read, and that is Second Chance Summer by Matson. I have ordered this one in physical copy, but it hasn't arrived yet. But Second Chance Summer basically takes place over 2 months, I believe, and it's a girl who gets to spend the summer for the last time with her dad before he passes away from cancer, and you can imagine how sad this book is going to be and how much I'm going to cry. So it's a perfect book for me because I love to make myself cry. Then, the last episode of this video, for the 7th book on my TBR, I'm going to pick a challenge for my TBR jar and pick a book for that challenge. Honestly, I love this part of the video because I haven't picked this book out beforehand and I don't know what it's going to be yet. So this is always super exciting. I've got one. I've got one. Please be a good one. A book by an author you've never read before. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure yet. Honestly, I'm going to be a bit cheaty on this one, but I'm going to pick Rogue Lawyer by John Grisham. This is a book I picked up from the library and I actually started back in May, but I haven't finished it yet. I am more than halfway through it. And I am very much enjoying it because I am a law major in college and I saw this at the library. It was on my wish list for a while, but I never quite got to it. But now I have and I'm very much enjoying this. I love learning about the legal system in the United States because I don't know anything about that because I am a Dutch law major. And I have never read anything else by John Grisham, so this is my first book by him. So it's not quite cheaty, but I did start this already in May. So this is my June TBR. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books and what you think about them, or let me know what you are going to be reading in June. I would love to know. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!